If you go and listen to the 1964 Bob Dylan recording of The Times They Are A-Changing on the album of the same name, you'll soon realise he mixes it up a bit. So he doesn't play any verse exactly the same as any other verse, I don't think. For example, on the first verse, in that hook, at the end of the verse, the times they are a-changing part, he plays G to D major to G, I think. The times they are a-changing. But on some of the other verses, he throws a C major into that part as well, like this. The times they are a-changing. And there are some other variations on the verses too. The harmonica parts, for example, will vary. So I'm not going to show you the way to play a verse or all the verses. I'm just going to give you a feel for it. I'll tell you roughly where the variations come. And just like Dylan does, you can decide what you want to do. You can mix it up a bit. If that's good enough for him, it's good enough for me as well. Anyway, let's get started. Let's start with some of the basics then. So the song, I believe, is in 3/4 waltz time as opposed to 6/8, because there's a lot of this kind of thing going on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So I think that's pretty clearly 3/4. I suspect he's playing with a pick. It's got that kind of distinctive pick sound to me, as opposed to his fingers, which will sound more like this. So I think he's using a pick. So I'd recommend using a pick on this song. And the song opens with a chord of G major, and I think it's this variant of G major where you put your ring finger on the second string, 3rd fret, which is the note of D. You can play G leaving that string, that second string open, which gives you a B, which gives you this sound. But I think he's got his ring finger on the second string, 3rd fret to give us that D, which gives us this sound. And I think that's what you hear on the record. That opening to the 1964 recorded version of The Times They Are A-Changing, I think, is pretty clever. I kind of like it. And I think roughly what Dylan is playing is this. Come gather round. So let me show you how to play that. So how does Dylan play that clever little introduction to the 64 recording? Well, he uses that G chord I showed you, and he plays 4 bars on that G chord, but he mixes it up a bit. So the first 2 bars, he's going to play down, 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 up, down, 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 up. And the timing of that is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and then on the 3rd bar, he plays down, up, down, up, down, up. The timing of that is 1 and 2 and 3 and the 4th bar is back to down, 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 up. 1, 2, 3 and. So put that together, then you have this. And the singing comes in right at the end of the 3rd bar of those 4. So it sounds like this. Come gather round. Okay, so from that opening salvo of G major, he goes to E minor. People, where, then C major, wherever you. Then we're back to that G major again, roll. Now, as he's playing through those chords, you'll notice on the E minor and the C, he's really just playing down, down, down. 1, 2, 3, down, down. Same on the C. Down, 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 1, 2, 3. And then when he comes back to the G, he's doing more of the down, 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 up, down, 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 up. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. So he's mixing it up as he goes between just playing down, 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 down. And then sometimes you'll find he throws in that down, up, down, up, down, up as well, or 1 and 2 and 3. So you can mix it up too. Anyway, first part of the song then, G to E minor, to C, back to G. The second line of the song starts with that G major again, and amid that third, then goes to A minor. What is a C major? Round you have, then D major, groan, and ick, and then we're back to a G again. Accepted that E minor, soon you'll be C major, drenched to the, back to the G again, bone. If you're G major, time to, then A minor, you is worth. Now sometimes I think I hear a C major there rather than an A minor. So I think he probably varies that from verse to verse. I've got a feeling on the first verse it's an A minor, and on some subsequent verses it's a C major, but you decide. Then we're on to D, Changin. Here he does a clever little rundown in the bass. Let me show you that. You better start swimming or you sink like a stone. Let's look at that bass rundown then. I'll walk you through it fairly slowly. So you're going to start with a regular D chord, and you can pick out the note of D, which is the open 4th string, and then do 2 downstrokes with your pick. Next, you're going to take your middle finger off of the top string, 2nd fret, and you're going to move it to the 5th string, 3rd fret. That's your next bass note, so you're going to play that 5th string. That's the note of C. So play the C on the 5th string and then 2 downstrokes with your pick afterwards. Next, move your index finger from the 3rd string, 2nd fret, put it on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and remove your middle finger. That's your next bass note, it's the note of B, so again play the 5th string with your pick and then 2 downstrokes. And now we go back into a regular D shape, D major, and we play the 5th string open, which is the note of A. So in the bass we've run down from D to C to B to A. You better start swimming or you sink like a stone. Better start swimming or you sink like a stone. Now, I've got to say, if you listen to the 64 recording, it's quite subtle. It's pretty difficult to hear that at all. I think he is playing it, but he's not really picking out those bass strings very much. They're a bit in the mix, if you know what I mean. It sounds a bit like this. You better start swimming or you sink like a stone. So it's easy to miss, but I think it is there. And if you're a Dylan nerd like me, there is an outtake from D.A. Penbacker's 1965 film, Don't Look Back, which wasn't used in that film, but it's Dylan playing The Times They Are Changing live on his tour of England, I think in Sheffield. And if you watch it, in one of the verses, you can actually see in that part of the song, you can see his fingers taking those shapes. So I'm pretty sure he is doing it. Anyway, if you want to, go and find that on the internet and have a look, see if you think I'm right. Okay, before I carry on, let me just say, if you've been enjoying the lesson, please do hit the like button and please do subscribe, because if you subscribe, you'll be notified of all the future guitar lessons that I put out as they come out. So please do that. So we play that bass rundown and we're sitting on the D major chord, sink like a stone. And we want to next play the hook or the refrain, the times they are a-changing. So to do that, we're going to go to the G major again for the times. Now, on the first verse, I'm pretty sure he's just staying on that G. For the times they are then going to the D major, chain, back to G again, gin. But on other verses, as I said, he does throw in a C major, so he plays for the times, C major, they are a D major, chain, back to G major, gin. So, what else do we need to say about this song? I think one important thing is that you can do it obviously how you like, interpret it in the way that you want to. If you do want to make it sound like the Dylan version of the song on that 64 recording. I suspect the guitar he was playing probably didn't have a very prominent bass. It sounds pretty much trebly to me. It sounds like this. It doesn't sound like this. So, you know, I'd encourage you not to pick out much bass if you want to sound like the Dylan version. Having said that, obviously interpret the song in the way you want to. You know, if you do want to pick out the bass, that's absolutely fine, you might want to. So I do play harmonica a little bit. I wouldn't claim to be the world's best harmonica player, but if, like me, you play a bit of harmonica, the good news, or maybe it's bad news in this song, is that I think Dylan basically just makes it up a bit as he goes along. Each harmonica break is a different length, he plays different things, and he plays different chords under it. So I think it's a good excuse just to make it up yourself.